Hi everyone, welcome back to Fiction Room. We will be continuing the story of Now It's Your Turn Chapter 3, The Background. You can read the full story on Wattpad by checking the description below. Now sit back and relax as we dive in. Jenica, time for school. Mrs. Wilkins's voice echoed through the house. Coming, Jenica called back, as she was placing lipstick on front of her mirror. Her blonde hair was well complemented by her latest fashion clothes. She grabbed her bag and hurried downstairs. Her father was already at the breakfast table, engrossed in his phone. Morning, sweetie, here's your breakfast, he said, sliding a plate of toast, eggs, and bacon towards her. Thanks, Jenica replied, taking her seat and beginning to eat. A phone call pulled her dad away, leaving Jenica and her mom in the kitchen. Here's your lunch, her mom said, nodding towards the bag on the counter. And congrats on the 100% in your quarterly test. It was easy, Jenica said with a shrug, standing to collect her lunch bag. She went back to her plate and gobbled the rest of the crunchy bits and brought them to the kitchen. Yeah, the traffic's heavy today. You should hurry, her mother cautioned, kissing her forehead. And remind your dad to hurry up, too. We're heading to the same school, Mom. It's fine, off you go, then, her mom urged. Outside, Jenica signaled to her dad, who was still on the call, that it was time to leave. She jumped into the car, turned the key, turning on the engine. While waiting, she whipped out her iPhone. Her face seemingly confused by the flood of unread messages, she opened a group chat with her friends. Her face flushed with fear in an instant. Where are you, Jenica? One friend asked. On my way. What's up? Jenica responded, slightly irritated. You wouldn't believe what's happening at school. Out with it. What's going on? Remember Precious? What about her? Good riddance to her. She's made quite the impact. Students have been rallying for her for the past hour. No way. It's true. You need to see this. That's impossible. My dad can't find out, or I'm done for. Can't you do something? Risk ruining my clothes? No chance. Jenica tossed her phone as she punched the steering wheel in frustration, making her jump. His father started walking due to the signal. No. Jenica's fear escalated as she quickly climbed to the backseat of the car. His father opened the door, getting inside. I'm sorry, I promise I'll make it there on time. No need, Dad. She forced a smile. My feet just stomped on the horn as I got back in here. Well, no worries. They are also calling me in school, so we'll be rushing straight ahead. His father bucked his seatbelt as he lowered the handbrake, backing into the driveway. Jenica's heartbeat doubled as she grabbed her phone and started typing. I'll give $100 to each student who shuts up. Hitting the post button, the entire ride was eerily quiet, culminating in their arrival at a school engulfed in chaos. Students brandished signs proclaiming justice for Precious. As Jenica exited the car, her father hastened to his office, leaving her to confront the unfolding turmoil alone. Reunited with her friend Kate at the school's building, Jenica was greeted with a grim prognosis. It's pandemonium, Kate observed. Classes are at a standstill. The students are on the brink of rioting Until what? Jenica pressed. Until you and your father are expelled, Kate finished grimly. What about the money? They didn't take it? Jenica's fear on the verge of pouring. I'm sorry girl, but just look at that. Katie pointed at the crowd. They really want you out of here. No way. Jenica marched in the crowd despite Katie's warnings. Fueled by determination, Jenica went outside of the door, facing the crowd. She raised her offer to $200. But in return she got hit by an apple in her face as the horse's uproar became more strong and violent. Left with no choice, she threatened expulsion for those who didn't cease with their protest. Her threats were met with derision. A girl with glasses, a red beanie, and braces, named Giselle, shouted, boldly confronting her. You don't belong here, smartass. She roared, followed by the people rallying with her. This angered Jenica and she grabbed Giselle by her shirt. Listen here, Twig. If you don't stop this now, I'll also get you expelled. Go ahead then, Giselle smiled. Let's see if they will still listen to you. Jenica, shocked by her words, pushed her against the crowd. On with her, she heard Giselle say as seconds later, food and dirt came flying towards her. Drenched in a sticky mess, Jenica rushed to the door, but unbeknownst to her, the door wouldn't budge. She knocked helplessly as food was constantly hitting her in different parts of her body, her bag the only one protecting her spine from the hard objects. Through the small window on the door, she saw Katie approach and look at her. She pleaded with Kate for help, but only scoffed at her, seeing her dire situation. I told you not to go outside. Her muffled words stung Jenica as pounded on the door. "Let me in or else." Her hopes were washed away as she saw Katie walking away. She looked for other options she could take cover, and luckily she saw an old restroom. Left with no other choice, Jenica sought refuge in the restroom. The continued shouts telling her to stay still despite the sharp smells of urine stinging her in the face. Jenica quickly removed her food-stained clothes, while trying to wipe off the messy grease in her hair. She plopped her bag down that was full of slimy texture from the broken eggs. She opened it to get her PE uniform. "Good thing I have sports class today," she mumbled to herself as she put them on. Emerging cleaner but shaken, she pressed her head on the door to know the fate of the outside. Surprisingly, it was quiet, like everybody was taken by something. She opened the door, enough for her eyes to peek through. There were no students around, but the messy floor and columns told her that the rally did happen. She then opened the door wide as she ran as fast as she could back to the building, which was now open. She was met by her father, who urgently beckoned her with a box of office items in hand. "We need to leave immediately. I'll explain in the car," he said, signaling the end of an era at her school. "What? That's impossible," Jenica exclaimed in disbelief. In the car, her father spoke. His voice, strained with disappointment and a tinge of anger, broke the tense silence. "I defended you, Jenica. Yet, every student tells a story that contradicts yours. How could you deceive me like this? You wouldn't understand. It's complicated, Jenica." Mr. Wilkins's tone deepened, echoing a warning of imminent reprimand. "Today, I lost my job. Do not tell me it's complicated and expect me to be oblivious." Pulling over to regain his composure, he faced his daughter, his expression a mix of sadness and disbelief. "Why, Jenica, just why?" With a heavy sigh, Jenica admitted, "She just got under my skin. The day she came to school with blonde hair, everyone confused me with her. It drove me insane, so I put bubble gum in her hair, hoping she'd have to cut it off." Disappointment washed over Mr. Wilkins as he massaged his forehead. "I can't express how disappointed I am in you." "But Dad, she fought me first," Jenica protested, revealing bruises as evidence. "To think I lost my job over a petty rivalry? This is madness," Mr. Wilkins exclaimed, his frustration palpable. Tears welled up in Jenica's eyes, her sobs prompting a softening in her father's demeanor. "I'm sorry, I just can't discuss this any further right now." The remainder of the drive home passed in silence, a heavy air of disappointment between them. "Unbelievable, Jenica," Mrs. Wilkins's outrage filled the room. "You mean to tell me your behavior has been influenced by your position as the principal's daughter?" Jenica remained silent, her guilt preventing any response. "Won't you say anything in your defense?" Silence prevailed as Jenica kept her head down, too ashamed to speak. "Go to your room, I'm at a loss for words. Mid-school year, and we're scrambling to find a new school willing to accept you," Mrs. Wilkins lamented before retreating to the kitchen. Alone in her room, Jenica's tears of frustration and anger flowed freely. "It's all because of her. If I ever encounter Precious again." Her vengeful thoughts were interrupted by exhaustion, and she drifted into a troubled sleep. Awoken by her mother's call, Jenica approached the dining table with trepidation, where her father waited. "Jenica, sit down," he directed calmly. After taking a seat, she listened as her father relayed the news. "Woodgrove School has agreed to enroll you despite the recent upheaval. School starts at 7:30 a.m. Good night." As he turned to leave, he paused, adding a stern caveat. "Should anything like this happen again, you'll face the consequences alone." The door closed softly behind him, leaving Jenica to contemplate the gravity of her actions and the uncertain path ahead. Jenica, somewhat astonished by her parents' restraint from grounding or scolding her, resolved to make amends. "I'll do my best, Dad and Mom," she promised herself, determined to mend the rift her actions had caused. The following morning, Jenica awoke at 6 a.m., meticulously packing her bag. Today, she couldn't afford any slip-ups. She aimed to dissipate her parents' lingering frustration. By 6:30, she was fully prepared, sitting on the couch in anticipation of her father's readiness. Her father emerged 5 minutes later, rubbing his eyes in a sleepy haze, only to find Jenica greeting him with a smile. "Good morning, Dad." "Morning, honey," he responded, his tone still carrying a hint of tension. "You're up early. Have you had breakfast yet?" "No. School starts at 7:30 a.m., right? I was waiting for you, so we could leave together." "What time are we heading out?" Jenica inquired, hopeful. Her father looked confused for a moment. "We? What do you mean? Aren't you driving me to school?" She pressed a trace of concern in her voice. Realizing his oversight, her father explained, I can't take you today. I need to start looking for a new job, inadvertently stirring guilt within Jenica. Should I catch a cab then? No, no, her father quickly countered. You'll take the bus. It arrives at 7 a.m. He checked his watch, reinforcing the plan. Jenica's discomfort was palpable. Can't I just take a cab? I can pay with my earnings from the lipstick business. The idea of taking the bus, associated in her mind with discomfort and a certain social stigma, was unappealing. Just take the bus. Don't waste your earnings. There's nothing wrong with taking the bus, her father insisted. Reluctantly, Jenica agreed. Stepping off the bus, Jenica immediately reached for her wipes, internally grimacing at the experience. Ew, 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 she thought, trying to cleanse away the discomfort. Approaching the school, her apprehension grew at the sight of the neglected volleyball court and overgrown garden, stark compared to her previous school's meticulous grounds, where the garden and courts were consistently trimmed of overgrown grass. Just half a year, she reminded herself, then I can request a transfer. However, upon entering the school, Jenica was taken aback by the cleanliness and orderliness, rust-free lockers, cobweb-free corners, and polished floors. It was a revelation that challenged her preconceptions. She inspected the new environment and was interrupted when she noticed two girls looking her way. One, in particular, ignited a familiar rage. Precious, she thought furiously, her old anger reignited at the sight of the cause of her expulsion. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end. Your time is appreciated. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are on when chapter 3 comes. Thank you.